Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So today we are going to talk about buying a 2024 Toyota Tacoma, whether it's the TRD Pro, Trailhunter, TRD Sport, Limited, TRD Off Road, whatever it is, even the pre-runner. If you want to try to get one at MSRP, it's going to be a little difficult because so many dealerships right now, they see this brand new 2024 Tacoma hit the scene. And everybody's super excited, right? Everyone really wants one, and well, a lot of dealerships will take advantage of that in a heartbeat. They're already licking their chops, right? Because they're going to slap a giant markup on it, and people are going to pay it. People are going to pay 10 grand over MSRP for the Tacoma, and I hate saying that, especially the TRD Pro and Trailhunter. They're going to be easily 10 grand right off the back for a lot of dealerships, but there are good dealerships out there. There are absolutely good, honest dealerships out there who are not concerned about trying to scratch a few additional dollars out of people and take advantage. So they exist, and in this video I'm going to talk about your best method, your best approach to actually get one at MSRP, really just giving you the best shot, okay? So if you don't know, I actually have an LLC company where I would focus on auto brokering, where I would find, hard to find, maybe it's even sometimes used, low mileage, hard to find vehicles for you guys. And obviously my passion being Toyotas, that is what I would typically find for you guys at MSRP. So that was my job, was to call around the nation and find a vehicle that you want at the price point you want to pay, MSRP, more often than not, close to you, right? So that was my whole job, and I love doing it. It was a blast. But I work full time now, so I don't have the time, and it's not fair to you guys for me to continue that, although it probably still would be fun for me to do on the weekends. But let's talk about it. What are the things that you should be doing right now if you're trying to secure one? So what I would be doing is reaching out to every single dealership within a 3-state radius of you. If you're in California, I wouldn't even bother starting in California. I would, or even Washington for that matter. Washington and California, with the exception really of like just a couple dealerships in each of those states, you're gonna have a very tough time trying to talk them into doing an MSRP deal on the brand new cheese, the brand new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. It's gonna be tough. So what I would do is, kind of start leaning a state or two toward the Midwest, toward the central United States, and you'll have a better shot at it. I typically, if I'm gonna try to find people the best deal, I often looked in the Midwest. So you're calling those dealerships. What I do is I type into Google, say Toyota dealerships in Ohio, and I go down the list. I go down the list, and this is what I say. And I encourage you to do the same thing. I call them up, say, hey, I'm looking for a brand new 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. I know you guys don't have any allocations yet, but I would love to try to secure one with you guys, and I would love to work with you and buy it from you if you're able to assure me that your first one will be sold at MSRP. And I'm even willing to put a holding deposit on it, but I do need assurance that it's going to be MSRP. And that is important. You need signed assurance from them saying that yes, you're first in line to get a Tacoma TRD Pro, brand new 2024 at MSRP. Here is, here's our signature saying that we're going to sell it to you for this much. Because if you don't get it in writing, what could they do? They could easily, when it comes in, they're going to try to use that to their advantage. It'll come in, but hey, look what arrived, and they'll send you a picture of it, 5 months down the road, because they're not going to start arriving to dealership lots until probably, late fall, October timeframe is typically when they start showing up, okay? The next 2024 model year, or the next model year in general, tends to be in October of the previous year, if that makes sense. So, that is my ideal time. I like to tackle it when I know dealerships have allocations. Personally, I don't know. If you're really gung-ho about getting it, I recommend making the phone calls now, though, and hopefully you'll find that honest dealership willing to slate you with the first one that they get. But you also run the risk of, what I meant by that is, they'll send you a picture, and if you didn't have it signed in writing that they're going to sell it to you at MSRP, they'll send you a picture, they'll get you excited about it, and then you may show up to the dealership and they may surprise you with an addendum, with a markup of $5,000 or $10,000 or more. And not 9 times out of 10, but often they will trick you into paying that addendum because they've already got you excited. You've already technically waited for them. You've held off for this particular one with this particular dealership, and then they kind of got you at that point. So don't let them do that to you, because that is a tactic that dealerships will employ. So get it in writing, signed by a sales manager, saying that they're going to sell it to you at MSRP. That way you can always fall back on that. But hey, no, I don't care if the market is quote unquote demanding 10,000 over. You already signed an agreement with me saying that you'll do an MSRP, and they should live up to that. What I like to do is I like to wait till they're being released or they're already starting to hit the lots. And what I would do is I'd probably wait till September and start calling the dealerships then, because at that point they're starting to receive allocations. And allocations are, actual tangible things that you can negotiate and work. Whereas, if you're just calling dealerships right now, sure, you can maybe get lined up with one, but who's to say you're actually going to get the first one that arrives, right? They can still fudge the books a little bit and sell their first few at over MSRP. Even if you were technically the first person to put a deposit down, they can still fudge the books on you and try to sell that first few at over MSRP, then kind of wait for the excitement to die down a little bit and then sell you yours at MSRP, right? So they can always do that. So I like to wait till they actually have the allocations. An allocation is a definitive build allotment. Think of it that way. So when a dealership gets an allocation, that is, no kidding, a VIN number going to be assigned, a build actually taking place. And oftentimes, a lot of people fell victim to this in like the Ford Raptor community. So many people would be placing deposit or build orders at dealerships, and it means nothing. Right? That means nothing until they have an allocation that they can actually set to your request, to your order, if you will. So I would call in September, and what you do is you call the dealership, do the same thing I just mentioned, type in Toyota dealerships in your state or the state nearby, and call them up and say, hey, I'm actually trying to find a brand new 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. I'm looking to pay MSRP for it. Any chance that I could secure one that you have inbound? So you're asking them if they have one available, which is going to be unlikely in September, but you're asking more importantly if they have one inbound. If they have one inbound, that's when you make it very clear that, hey, I'm willing to place a deposit with you and secure it with you today. If you guys are an MSRP dealership. And that's going to be where you kind of hold your breath and hope you luck out. And that can be tough, but I think based on the different states, whatever state you're calling, you're going to have a better chance. Like I said, Midwest, Midwest, you're going to have a little bit better of a shot getting the one you want, right? So West Coast and Florida, some states, East Coast, are just difficult to get at MSRP. They're a little bit more greedy out there, unfortunately, it appears. So, but I would like to think, I'm hopeful that Toyota is starting to get away from the markups, right? Because the more dealerships tend to, are leaning toward the markups, the more manufacturers don't like it. The more manufacturers want to lean toward the Tesla model and cut out the dealerships, right? So the more that they're doing it, the more that they're digging their own grave, so to speak. So Ford CEO has already talked about it a number of times. If they're going to continue to do the nasty markups on their consumer, we may just go to the Tesla concept where you buy direct, and it's a one set price. There's good and bad of that, right? You can't negotiate down, but you're for sure going to get the MSRP price. So there's goodness to it too. So all that to say, if you're looking to really kind of get your foot in the door in one now, I suggest that you just start calling dealership to dealership and just asking, hey, could we work an arrangement where I place a deposit with you now and you set me up for your first 2024, your first wave of 2024 Toyota Tacomas. Personally, I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing that, because I like knowing that I'm going to be matched up with one for sure. So that's where the allocation comes in. I would wait till September, but if you want to kind of roll the dice a little bit, you can start calling now and asking to be on that first one. It would be cool if a dealership could give you assurance that you're going to get their first one. So if you can get that in writing, that'd be pretty incredible. So just saying, hey, we want to put a deposit down with you if you can, sure that I can get your first 2024 Toyota Tacoma in white or whatever color that you're trying to get. You can try to line that up with them. And I think a dealership will work with you on that, especially since you're so early in the game, putting a deposit down. So hopefully that helps some of you. You know, I've gotten a few questions already from people saying, hey, I know you're not technically doing your LLC work anymore, but could you help me get could you help me get a 2024 Toyota Tacoma? So hopefully this helps some of you. You know, let me know if it does. Appreciate you watching as always. Until next time.